Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Future Tech Podcast. I'm your host, Juliette Lamar, and joining me today is Sara Hicks. She is the co-founder and CEO at Reaction Commerce. Welcome, Sara.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're so excited to chat with you here on Future Tech Podcast. For our listeners who don't know about Reaction Commerce, go ahead and give us a little bit of an overview about your company.
Sure. So Reaction Commerce is a completely open source commerce platform built for retailers and brands who might be looking for, either to launch their own new business or expand and grow their existing business. So because it's completely open, it means that it's completely customizable, it's modifiable, extendable. So anything can be adapted to meet the needs of retailers and brands who might be otherwise, locked in and needing to make kind of more customizations than they're currently able to. So I'll give you a couple examples. Out of the box, Reaction includes kind of what I call all the table stakes features that a retailer or brand would need to create an e-commerce storefront. So that's catalog management, it's inventory management, shopping cart, checkout, payment solutions, taxes and shipping integrations, the order processing. And then on top of that, there's capabilities to transact internationally across any language or currency. So there's a lot of functionality in the core software.
No, it sounds like you have a lot of different things that people can utilize here. If someone needs to use your service, what are the steps to getting started?
So Reaction's freely available for anyone to install it, to customize it, to modify or extend it. So they can go to our GitHub repo and they'll find all the documentation and information about how to download the code base, or of course they can find it from our website, reactioncommerce.com. So what that means kind of in just high level terms is that anyone can download download Reaction Commerce, and then they can modify it, and then they can deploy it and run it wherever they want. But we also offer a managed platform, so a managed solution that we say kind of takes away the headaches and operational challenges of running a 24/7, 365 commerce application. So, we manage the hosting, the scaling, and all the infrastructure for running Reaction Commerce shops and marketplaces. So this lets retailers focus, let's say, on their business or their merchandising instead of their servers. So that's kind of the high level of how anyone can get started. And then we always can do demos or showcase shops as people get started.
Absolutely. And you touched a little bit on the issues that e-commerce has. You're saying there's these big files they have to focus on and all that. What are some of the other challenges in this space that you're really helping people with?
Well, I always say that one size doesn't fit all for commerce. So we have thousands of installations that are happening every single month around the world. And I'd probably bet that each of those has maybe different needs and complexities. So you could be selling physical goods, I could be selling digital goods, or you could have a monthly subscription service, or I could be selling a rental product line. You could ship from, let's say, one location, I could ship from multiple warehouses. You could maybe only ship domestically, I could ship worldwide. And all of those nuances create lots and lots of complexity in terms of, what the software needs to do to support those shoppers. So I think that at its face, commerce is way more complex than just the shopping cart. There's all the underlying rules and workflows that make it happen. And so this is because we're open, anyone can customize it to meet their specific needs. You're not locked in by a vendor. This isn't closed software where you're reliant on any one company. We like to say you can control your destiny with Reaction Commerce. And we think that's important because retailers need to keep ahead. Their landscape's changing, technology's rapidly shifting, and as of they're falling behind. And this is a way for them to be able to leapfrog their competition.
No, absolutely. So Sarah, give us a little bit of background about yourself. How did you find yourself in this space and with co-founding and being the CEO of Reaction?
Sure. So I've been working kind of in and around startups and tech companies pretty much my entire career, kind of grown up in tech, so to speak. Most of that's been in commerce or personal publishing, large marketplace, and even cloud hosting. So one of the threads throughout my career has been helping people and companies of all shapes and sizes to succeed selling online. So here's a couple examples of that. So I was the vice president of product at Etsy, and so I was responsible there for building the product that gave hobbyists and the do-it-yourself makers the tools and the distribution to make a living making things. I started my career at GeoCities, so back in the kind of Web 1.0 world where we were helping millions of people to establish a presence online. And now I'm building Reaction Commerce, which, as we've talked about, open full stack commerce for retailers and brands. So I love building and designing products and teams and companies at scale, and definitely a passion for helping the little guys, helping the David versus Goliath, giving software to masses of retailers and people of all shapes and sizes to be successful.
And that's, that really shows through in your work. And I love that you have, actual human beings behind your support. I was just reading about it here. How important is that to you?
Incredibly important. I mean, I always will say it's always about the team. It's always about the people. So the thing that makes Reaction Commerce so powerful and why we've seen so much momentum is because of the community and the team behind it. So, thousands of installations worldwide, lots of contributions, not just from our core team, the actual employees, but from people worldwide who are interested in contributing and being part of this movement of creating something that can be used not just by themselves, but by the wider audience. I think that's why open source is so important. There's this network effect where you're contributing to something for the greater good, and that's what makes it incredibly powerful. We think a lot about client experience and customer experience. We have live chat rooms, and we do regular reaction action live stream meetups to be good stewards of the open source community and of our software.
And really that, people think that technology separates us further and further, but, a lot of times it can connect us.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think, and we see that time and time again, almost on a daily basis now, just within our community of people around the world who are using the software, who are asking questions, who are participating, wanting to get involved. And so it takes, this massive global reach and turns it into kind of this very kind of friendly and personable experience, which is, that's what I love. It's still mind-boggling to me that Reaction Commerce is being used now around the world by so many people and in so many countries and so many languages. And that's what inspires me and keeps me going. And we're just 5 years into it.
I love the opportunity that it opens up for people, especially in countries that maybe don't have the same foot traffic or the same economic that we have and able to purchasing power and such. And how e-commerce can just totally change that for someone.
That's exactly right, and I think that's that's what we're seeing play out. That we're providing this software, and it's leveling the playing field. We like to say it's democratizing, and connecting the world through open commerce. That's our bigger vision, and we're seeing lots of shops and marketplaces launching worldwide because of us putting the software out there, and it comes back to us in twofold. There's the community that contributes back, but also the software just becomes stronger and stronger because we can't possibly create all the different permutations ourselves as a small startup, but yet that we have this community on top of us is really important. I can give you a couple examples. So one of my favorite shops that launched on Reaction Commerce is an art marketplace. It's called Artline. This probably speaks to my Etsy roots, but they're a small team and they've already built an incredibly powerful global art and jewelry marketplace on top of our software. There's a juice company with multiple retail locations. They're using Reaction Commerce to power their commerce storefront. What's cool about them is they're doing some neat online and offline integrations. So they're doing things like purchase online and pick up offline. And those little nuances are really challenging for most retailers and brands to get. And it speaks to our software being able to be customizable to do that. We're also about to kick off a pretty major partnership with one of the largest sporting goods retailers in Europe. And we'll announce the details around that later this fall, but it's going to be another big success story for the platform and for the software and for the community.
No, that is just fantastic. So your product is very customizable, and that's part of the reason I think why you're having such success, because you have all these different little areas. You've got your product inventory management, your shop management, checkout, carts, your shop, everything. It's so important to have it be exactly what you need.
Yeah, that's the key point. Is that there's no one size fits all, and there's so many different permutations. And the fact that our software can be modified and extended, and that we've tried one of the philosophical points of how we've tried to architect it and build it is that it's we think of flexibility from the start. Is we're not out to build replace all the ERP systems or order management systems out there, but we're out to make it easier for you to integrate with those systems. And so whether it's your accounting system or your ERP system or your order management system or your inventory management system, with us, because we're built on just a modern technology stack that developers are flocking to, it's actually easier to do those types of integrations and synchronizations with Reaction Commerce than it would be with software that was built a decade or longer ago.
Absolutely. If people want to get started and learn more, what is the best place for them to try this out?
So there's two paths. So for the more technically inclined, they can always go to our GitHub repo and just jump right in, download and install the software and start playing around. The other side is just visit reactioncommerce.com. You can sign up there for a demo, get more information. We'd be happy to hop on a video call, walk you through the software, kind of show you the ins and outs of everything I've been talking about, and learn a little bit more about your specific needs and see if we can help guide you in the right direction.
Fantastic. So your website is reactioncommerce.com. When you get there, you can get in touch with a real person and talk about this. And you can really give them your needs, your ideas, and you'll hold the hands and walk through exactly what they need.
Yep, that's exactly right. And we're available. We have a very active community that's also able to answer questions. We have forums and chat rooms. So, like you said, we try to put a human person behind the software. So definitely reach out, and we'll try to get the answers out. And
just in closing, where do you see Reaction Commerce going in the future? What aspects are you hoping to add, and how are you hoping to grow?
So sure, I think one key point is we didn't just set out to build a commerce platform. We started there, but we're really eager to help retailers be more successful at converting more of their visitors to shoppers. And we want to do that by giving them access to powerful data, analytics, intelligence, and merchandising applications that today are kind of really they're either exorbitantly expensive and very hard to customize, or it's only possible by kind of the major players, the dominant marketplaces in the space. And so we have this vast array of data across our network of shops, across this open source ecosystem. And we'd like to put that data and then put merchandising and promotion tools, inside of the application into the hands of the masses. So they, again, the most important thing that they care about as customers is actually converting their visitors to shoppers so they can have a successful e-commerce storefront. And so we our entire idea is that we'll build those capabilities into the core of the platform and make them, again, accessible and available to the global community.
That is fantastic. Well, Sara, Thank you so much for joining us here on Future Tech Podcast and sharing this wonderful company with all its solutions out there for your e-commerce problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
That is Sara Hicks. She is the co-founder and CEO at Reaction Commerce. Their website again is reactioncommerce.com. This has been Juliette Lamar with Future Tech Podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology Podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.